What's going on, everybody? D Style Boxing here. I'm being joined by Manny Marrero from Long Live Boxing. Also by Bruce Goss. Be joining us here tonight. Let's have an interesting show here. We have an interesting show. This is
Too.
another aftermath, a weekend aftermath. Some stuff to talk about. And we're going to dive right in with a story that just came out. And we're going to get to the Ryan Garcia, Tang Davis, all that good. We're going to get to all that. But first, there was a big story this weekend, at least in the boxing world. Seniesa Estrada. I mean, you could call her the queen of the little girls. You know what I mean? Like she's one of the best in the sport, one of the best in the business, has parted ways with Goldenboy Promotions. They're now actively searching for another. As of yesterday, they have not signed with anybody yet. If that's changed, it's changed. But as of right now, or at least from yesterday, nobody's signed her. I think Eddie Hearn might scoop her up. I have a feeling, but she's gone. Basically, Golden Boy couldn't really come up with any agreement with her financially. Roberto Diaz, put out a statement saying he was really close to her, enjoyed working with her, but they just couldn't give her what she was asking for. As far as the financial side, that's De La Hoya. You know what I mean? Bruce Gas, what you make of Oscar De La Hoya?
Oscar marches to his own drum. There's no doubt about that in my mind. Oscar was a great boxer when he was fighting. I watched Oscar from '92 all the way through his illustrious career. And as the Golden Boy Promotions, he just doesn't seem to have his mind in the game. From what I understand, he goes to the office 2 days a week. He's just not. He's not, shall we say, a jacket and tie material in this game where you have to be. Like people like Eddie Hearn, and going back, Aram and King. Those guys live for promotion. They went to bed with numbers in their head. They had plans every day. Oscar, I think he's just it goes as it goes, and he's losing out on a top female fighter today, because female fighting is all the rage right now. I mean, everybody's talking about Clarissa Shields. I mean, female boxing is hot right now, and I think that Oscar let that slip by. I think in hindsight he's probably regretting it, but then again, man, Oscar is Oscar, and the show will go on.
Yeah, Oscar is definitely being Oscar. Look, I think this is a mistake by Golden Boy. I think they should have taken, even if they were losing money at the moment, invest in her, promoting her. I think she has the skills to pay those bills back. But nonetheless, they couldn't come up with any type of agreement. What do you think, Manny?
Sometimes I think about, is there something behind the scenes that we don't know, something that was still not disclosed, or maybe it won't be disclosed? Because one of the things that in the complaints was like, getting matches. So was that the true case of that, or was it anything that she didn't really want to go because the money wasn't right? And we know that. I think that the one who changed the women boxing, and he gets criticized a lot, and I get it, I understand, but he's proving people wrong, and that is Jake Paul. He's just doing wonders with it. He understands the talent. He understands what they have. And I have, hey, you mentioned one, Bruce. You mentioned, Eddie Hearn might scoop in. But, hey, Jake Paul, may he get involved in something like that and be able to add more to, the stable? Who knows? And I think that Golden Boy, I think you describe it perfectly, Bruce. Is just he's not a great boxer, but when it comes to business, he has never done great business. I mean, maintaining. Maybe his name is actually the one that actually gets him to be where he's at, or maybe it's just Bernard Hopkins, as part
Right.
of that. But I just don't understand why, if Bernard has more sense in business, in my opinion, than Oscar, why it wasn't a step in between and say, listen, let's just analyze this. Why? Because the scope in the of the women's boxing, there's not a lot of challenge out there. There's not a lot of talent. It's growing, but there needs to be patience, and you got to pay those who put the time, who put the commitment, and that's what Seniesa has done. As beautiful as she is, I am. I'm so in love with this person. I met her from one time at the Virgil Ortiz and Kavalasquez fight, and she is just a sweetness. She's just amazing, and she has great talent, and she puts into the sport. Why not pay or get into a happy medium? And I get it. Not making money, a lot of stuff. It's kind of coming back because the pandemic did stop a lot of the stuff. But I got to tell you something, man. De La Hoya is losing it most of them. And I think that eventually he's going to continue to lose what he's got. And I hope, Virgil, who knows? You see what I'm saying? So, man, a lot of trouble, and sad to hear that. But great, and can't wait to hear where she lands.
Ladies and gentlemen, now first of all, let me give a shout out to the chat. Long Live Boxing on here. Shout out to Long Live Boxing, and make sure you guys tune in to their show. Just subscribe to them, hit that bell button, and get notified. And while you're there at it, subscribe to Bruce Goss as well, Boxing, Jazz, and more. Make sure you subscribe to his channel. Great stuff. You know what I mean? Remy, shout out to you, brother. All right, SSC, good evening, bros. How you doing, man? Marion Brown, salute, fellas. Hey, salute to you as well, man. Gordova, hopefully they'll fight soon, and not in their 30s. He's talking about Ryan Tang. We're going to definitely get to that in a little bit. Sonteo Media says HCP. Shout out to you, Sonteo, doing your thing. Boxing Historian says salute. How you doing? All right, Boxing Historian cannot join us today. Unfortunate internet issues, but he's welcome every week for sure. Nando Llamas, shout out to you, brother. Look at that HCP truck, somebody getting arrested. What's going on over there with that avatar? What's going on? All right. And then I can't believe I missed that. What is that? What? Okay. Saludos to Jesus Sam. He also says that the fight is fake, by the way. I'm a huge Seniesa fan, but she's 30, and I don't make sense for either. That's business. Maybe it was just a mutual, like, hey, it'll be better for us, better for you, and we part ways, and sometimes that can happen. Toby Barnett, how you doing, brother? Jesus Sam, how you doing? And Lee Groves says, greetings and salutations, gentlemen. Well, greetings and salutations to you as well. I'll tell you what's going on. And a lot of people don't know this, but if you look at the lawsuit that Saul Canelo Alvarez, and I'm not just trying to make it about Canelo, but it actually has a lot to do with Canelo. Okay, that lawsuit he put on Goldenboy and DAZN, all right, they were using Canelo for a lot of things, for leverage, to subsidize your other fighters. Okay, that's a big key word, subsidize, right? They don't have a star fighter that brings in revenue so they could subsidize to other fighters anymore, right? Now, that was one of the grievances of Canelo. The big one was his contract with Goldenboy said he needs to agree to the opponent, but the zone actually were promised by Goldenboy without Canelo knowing about it that they would guarantee him the Triple G fight, which is happening anyway, but I digress, right? There's no subsidized money coming in anymore for Goldenboy. It just isn't. Like, where's it coming from? Where are they making the big bucks? Where's all the money being generated? Yes, they get paid by DAZN for the fights, but that significantly dropped after they lost Canelo. That contract was restructured. So what do they have? So right now, Seniesa, she's looking at Katie Taylor, Amanda Serrano, and she's looking at these women now in England, like Clarissa Shields, Marshall. She's looking at Bumgarner. She's going to make her bread. She's looking at what Top Rank is offering Mayer.
Mm-hmm.
She's saying, I'm one of the top fighters. I want some of that cheese. I'm no mouse, but I want some of that cheese without the mousetrap. I want some of that. And Goldenboy's basically saying, we don't got it. We just don't got it. In my opinion, they should have paid her, and then they should have had her fight Marlene again. I think that's a marketable fight. They could have sold that fight to DAZN, but they didn't do it for whatever reason, right? So the contract was not renewed, and she's going to be moving on. I have a pull-up. Who do you guys think she's going to sign with? Is she going to sign with Matchroom? Is it with Top Rank? Or somebody else, maybe boxer from the UK, right? Who do you guys believe Seniesa Estrads? Now that she's gone from Goldenboy, who would she sign with? Is this a good opportunity for Canelo to pick her up? To Canelo Promotions. You know what I mean? Is it a good opportunity for Jake Paul to pick her up? She might go over there. You never know, right? Wherever they're throwing money. So it looks like Matchroom is winning the poll so far, but Top Rank is close. If there's an other, let me know in the chat who the other is, right? Shout out to JC. And Team Batman Boxing in the building. How you guys doing? Right? What do you think she's going to go with, Manny? If you have to guess.
My guess is with Eddie Hearn. I mean, she's had a relationship there. She pretty much works, the zone in Match for Boxing USA, and so covers her fights and does a great job, and she's well known there, and that's the no brainer right there. And I think that if there wasn't anything that she wanted to really stay and negotiate, you're absolutely right. You describe it like, listen, I want more money. I need it right now. I deserve it. This is my resume. You're paying me? Yes? No? Good. All right. Sayonara. See you later. And I think the best is yet to come. I don't think she'll stay independent. I think she'll want to be able to go out there. But my second guess, to be honest, and it might end up to be number one, Jake Paul. What he's doing in the boxing, what he wants to be able to accomplish across the board, not only with young, talented kids, individual in the male section of it, but also with the female. I think it's also really good, and he will pay her. He will.
What do you think, Bruce? If you have to guess, so who do you think she's going to sign with? You're muted, brother.
Sorry, bro. All right, man. To repeat myself once again, now, to be honest with you, bro, before I came in here, I didn't even give this a subject a second thought. I didn't even note that she had not signed with Goldenboy, and she's a beautiful little tomato out there, 30 years old, and boxing, women's boxing, these women boxers are fighting into their late 30s, no problem. So she doesn't have to jump on the first offer that's made. And man, like you said, it's crazy out there. I don't know how promotions are paying fighters. I have no clue. You don't see the corporate sponsors we used to see. It's like, where's this money coming from? Is it even real money, man? Could it just be paper money that's put on contracts? I don't know, but the wild world of boxing, to me, like Eddie Hearn seems to be like the guy that's driving the bus right now. So I think if Eddie wants to sign her, and if he sees money, because he's got some of the hottest females boxers around, and if I were a woman, I'd be dating Eddie Hearn right now, man.
Damn.
Wow.
Well, there you go. And by the way, if you're watching this on archive, hit that like button. If you're watching now, hit that like button. And on the archive in the comment section, let us know, who do you think Seniesa Estrads has signed with? And if the news has broke, let us know. All right. Look, so that's that. Shout out to Seniesa. I wish her nothing but the best.
Let me share this with my dozens and dozens of Twitter followers, D-Style, so maybe we can get a few more people to like this. Okay, man. And don't forget, share this program too, man. That helps, man. One click of the button, I just got dozens and dozens and dozens of my loyal Twitter followers to be watching this right now.
Dozens and dozens of Twitter
around the world.
All around the world.
Shout out to Nando Yama. Says this is BS. Goldenboy Promotions probably has bigger budget than PBC now. PBC got dropped by Fox, and side chick Showtime has never had a huge budget historically. Well, look, all I know is this, Nando. Maybe they do have the money, but they weren't. Either they don't have it, or they weren't willing to pay Seniesa for it. One or the other, right? So time will tell. And now I wonder, the Marlene Esparza fight's going to happen, or Marlene's going to leave. Maybe she's next. Maybe Goldenboy was just like, you know what, this women boxing thing, I don't know if it's for us. Maybe they'll exit that whole thing, and maybe Eddie will be that much closer to monopolizing women's boxing as we know it, right? Because it's getting pretty close, okay? And if you smell what Bruce Goss is smoking. Dum, 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 dum. But
Blueberry mango.
That's right. Check it out, man. We always have fun on here. You know what I mean? Modelo for the...
Y no especial.
Modelo no es muy especial, pero sabe especial.
Sabe especial. I'm taking it easy, bubbly right now. No cervezas. Para
ladies and gentlemen, he put a vodka in there, ladies and gentlemen. He put vodka in there.
I know, I thought about it. No, I'm very honest.
All right, well, we'll see where that goes. So that's that. Let's get started with this Ryan Garcia thing. Let's talk about it. You know what I mean? Ryan Garcia goes out there. I don't want to brag or nothing like that. I mean, I said round 4. I wasn't right, but I said round 4. I said it's going to hit him to the body, and then it's going to come upstairs, right? He's going to utilize the hook as pretty much a counter, and that's what he did. I was very impressed with the performance. Round 1 and 2 were a little Ryan is still doing the same old, I don't know what's in the ceiling, but his chin is up there, and I don't know why he doesn't tuck it in. I don't know, right? So he has a lot to work on, but offensively, he did a lot better this time than his last outing, right? And he did a good job finishing Fortuna. Did a good job countering Fortuna. Went to the body, went upstairs, made the hook work against the southpaw. Nice white hook. Shout out to Christine in the ring with Christine, who kept telling everybody about that. That's exactly what was landing. Bruce Goss. Well, what did you personally make of Ryan Garcia's performance at the Staple? At the Crypto Arena, formerly known as Staples Center.
Yes.
Against Fortuna. Not much fortune for Fortuna.
Well, that's definitely the hottest boxing topic on this wild, wacky YouTube boxing community that I participate in, man. And I've never seen so much hate for Ryan Garcia. It's like, why? This is a kid, man. This is a 23-year-old, and I call him a kid because he's young enough to be my grandson. You know, being thrust in the limelight like that. And the way the world is today with everything going on, man, it's just a breakdown is so possible. And you don't just brush things like that off. And, you know, I don't fuck with mental health. And whatever Ryan did, I think he got himself on the right track again, man. You know, I can feel his faith in God. And, I liked what he did the other night. I thought his left hook, bro, that was kind of like a whip with a little hammer at the end. I like that. It kind of reminded me of, you know, don't crucify me for saying this, but it kind of reminded me a little bit of a Bob Foster style left hook. It was real wide, and like I said, like a whip. And man, and he showed how strong it was. One was a rib breaker, the other one was a freaking good nighter. Ryan, he showed his, and he always got that chin out there. And you could see somebody like Tank just timing one of those hooks and boom, coming over with the right hand, and Ryan clocking pigeons for the night. But see, that's what we want to see. Ryan's yelling these names after the fight. He's screaming for freaking Tank. He's screaming for Teofimo. He wants everybody in there, and he says he's not going to lie to his fans. You know, he had last time when he knocked out Campbell, he had the world by the balls, bro. You know. He could have written his own ticket, but then again, like I said, man, a lot of pressure, and he said he was going to do this, and this happened. You know, it's not the 3-strike rule. I'm giving him the benefit, and
right.
You know, I'll give him a push on this. I think he did very well. I want to see if he follows through with everything he said. If it was just bullshit, or if it was real from the heart. And man, you know, any of these fights that can be made, I'm all for them, man. Titles, it doesn't even matter. Like Ryan says, he's doing it for the money, for the fame, not for the belts. That's bullshit right there, you know. Because I mean, damn, when we were playing in the backyard, we made belts up with cardboard and tin foil. It was all about the belts, and I'm sure Ryan, you know, I'm sure he's kind of like many of us. We speak a lot without thinking. And then, you know, especially in this world today, it's too late to pull it back in again. But man, you know, Ryan looked good, and he's got the world by the you know what's once again, bro. I think if he follows through, right now he's hot. And not to mention his 7 billion Instagram followers, bro. I mean that's worth the belt right there, especially in this new boxing generation that we're having, where we're seeing you know, Jake Paul and Hasim Rahman is probably one of the second biggest talked about fights on the horizon. So yeah, man, you know, Ryan, let him show us what he's got. He's got talent, no doubt about that. Let's see him make the fights, and now that he can't go back and fight any more second-rate fighters anymore. He has to fight one of the aforementioned men. No doubt about that, or you know,
I got you.
Model underwear.
Absolutely. Remy, how's it going, brother? I hope everything's good. Shout out to Lee Groves. If you smell what the Bruce Goss is, you know, smoking. Tony Barlett, how's it going? All right. Guido on here. So salute D Styles, HCP. Hey, shout out to you, brother. G Money 915, you know, from my neck of the woods. Hey, we got to meet up and have some beers one day, brother. But Mayweather's going to do everything in his power to not make the fight Tank should have left Mayweather when he had the chance. I don't know if he has or he hasn't, though. I don't know if that's confirmed that he resigned with Goldenboy. I don't know if you guys know otherwise, but I like more information about that. But Lee Groves, Fortuna needed to rough up Ryan. And he might have been able to do it a year ago, but not now. Also, third, Ryan Speed of Power presents deterred Fortuna from that commitment. Absolutely, absolutely. Nando Yama says, Saludo G. Bruce Gas. No breaks. Look at all that smoke. And thanks once again to Nando Llamas for the support. Shout out to you, brother. Hey, Manny, talk to us. Is it King Rye or Lion Rye after Saturday night?
A couple of years ago, we talking about the Four Kings, trying to imitate the Four Kings of the division. And Tank Davis, Teofimo, of course, Ryan Garcia, and I forgot the other one. Devin Haney, right? So, who are the Four Kings? Who are they going to fight? I think out of those four that were talked about, two of them have actually improved and proven that they can fight outside their comfort zone and give the fans what they actually want. Whether it is through social media, whether it is through whatever you decide to do, there's a couple of things you do. You talk the talk. Can you walk the walk? And these two guys have done it. Tank did it, and he continues to give us some excitement. We buy the pay-per-views. We see the shit show, the Rolly Romero, and then, whoever they put in front, go up to 140, come up, down. Same as Ryan Garcia. I was kind of a little bit shocked that Ryan decided to move up at the 140. I know it was last minute. Replacement 3 months, I believe. It was very difficult, but still, Fortuna, it's a world champion. Although he is up in age, he still had, it's a very difficult style boxer that besides Jose Sosa, no one's ever done what he did to him. Sosa did it in the 11th round, and so Ryan, for being able to get out of that state of mind in where he was not comfortable with certain things, mental issues. I keep talking about that. That is something serious. And then all of a sudden, see the hate that he's gained throughout his career. All of a sudden, now after he talked the talk, he walks the walks, right? He was supposed to fight Fortuna before Richard Kami. He decided to go out, took care of business, came back, fought Richard Kami. Change. That was his first training, first time with Goosen. And then he proves again. First, he does it against Luke Campbell, which, by the way, at that time, we knew he was ready. We knew that he's that type of guy. And I love the way he expressed himself about it, because he said it. He said, listen, I was to this point when I was supposed to fight Fortuna. I had to step back, but I came back where I needed to be. That's why he took the fight. And it was a very difficult fight for him. And he did exactly what he said he was going to do. The speed, the movements, the IQ. There's another boxer that I kind of look at them, and they have the similar stand-up, kind of firm, throwing from here, and that's Shakur Stevenson. And you've seen what he has done. Ryan is very selective with that left hook. I don't think there was anyone in the past that I've seen having a strong left hook like Cotto, like Tito Trinidad. Ryan Garcia, it is no joke. And not to mention, his mentality is more than, he can understand your moves before you even trying to throw them. That's how good he is. Does he need time to be developed? Yes. Remember, this is a second fight with Goosen. He may need some more time. Is it ready for that elite status level? Absolutely. We wanted to see him there. We need to see. He moved up to 140. 140, it is a very difficult, but it's a good path. But he's going to have to go through a lot of oppositions to really continue to solidify himself. And if he stays with that mindset he's currently have, with, by the way, praising Jesus Christ as his savior, that is fantastic. That means progress. That means movement. That means that I attract the masses through social media, but I'm going to do it now from the heart, from what has helped me develop myself and focus. I think it's brilliant. I think it's great. Can he call anyone? Can he be that trash talker? He is going to be that one. But as it pertains inside the ring, he's also going to deliver. And I can't wait to see some of these great fights develop with him, to be honest. At 140, that's going to be great.
Absolutely, absolutely. And let me tell you something. I have a poll up. You guys can check it out. Make sure you vote in the poll. Is it Lion Ryan? Is it King Ryan? Prince Ryan? Or just Ryan? or Private Ryan. I don't know. You guys tell me, but make sure you vote on the poll and let us know what you voted in the chat. Let us know what you voted. You know what I mean? And let us know what you think about the performance that he had against Fortuna in the chat as well. Were you impressed? Were you not impressed? Let us know in the comment section if you're listening on archive. Make sure you let us know there as well. Make sure you just as a reminder, make sure you hit that subscribe if you like the content, hit that bell button, and hit the that way you're notified every single time D-Style Boxing comes on live. This is interesting. Ryan Garcia goes out there and dismantled, despite all, and he was making a lot of mistakes early in that fight, backing straight up. I know Chief Funky texted me. I don't like the way he's back straight up. I don't like it either. But he got away with it because he had such an advantage with the dimensions, and Ryan looked like a big junior welterweight in that ring. Like even though what's that?
He ended up with 148.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying the way he looked, especially next. Yeah. I mean, standing next to Fortuna, like he just looked like a much bigger man in there, and it showed. And then not only that, the dimensions. That's why he was able to get away with it this time. You know, people kept bringing up, but if he catches him the way Luke Campbell caught him, well, he's got to catch him that way then. Luke Campbell set that punch up. He didn't just throw it and land it. Fortuna was throwing the same punch and it wasn't landing for a reason, right? Got to set it up. The chin might be there, but it's not going to be there, okay, once he sees you throwing the punch. You have to set it up. You got to throw it where he's going to be, not where he's at. It's a lot easier said than done. It doesn't mean he shouldn't tuck it in. He should. But Ryan Garcia, he reminds me of a mongoose when it fights a cobra. You know what a mongoose does when it fights a cobra? It puts its neck out. It shows it to the cobra. It's like, you see this? It's right here. Go ahead. And then the cobra strikes. He sees the opening, he strikes, right? But the mongoose has faster reaction time, faster reflexes than the cobra. So it counters the cobra, boom, and it grabs it and it kills it. And that's how a mongoose defeats a cobra. It shows it to him, but it's a trap, right? The cobra doesn't have the IQ to know that. It just sees an opening, and a cobra is faster than almost any species that it runs across except a mongoose. Well, what's going to happen with Ryan Garcia? Steps in there with someone who can match him in speed, can match him in explosiveness. Because he leaves a chin out, and guys see that open chin, Fortuna was, and he was countering him, was catching him with that hook. Cut him downstairs with a hook. But what's going to happen, though, when a smarter fighter goes in there and sets up traps for Ryan and doesn't just go for the trap that you're putting up there? But that's what he reminds me of at this point. But you got to have, like, not everyone's going to be like the Cobra and just be like, oh, my God, there's an opening. Let me just throw. No, they're going to set you up, right? So what's going to happen that we already seen it. Luke Campbell was a fighter who was throwing to the body, and then he came upstairs and set him up with that shot. What's going to happen when someone can do that? So while I was impressed with Ryan, I think he looked great. Offensively looked great. The hook was great. It was all good. All good in the neighborhood. But he looks vulnerable still. When I see Ryan fight, I'm picturing him in the ring with all the other top lightweights, all the other top super lightweights in the world, and I'm seeing a lot of vulnerabilities and things they're going to be able to take advantage of. But let me know in the chat if you agree with what I'm saying, or if you disagree. Let me know how you think Ryan did in the fight, okay? Shout out to I Am Doing This Time. How you doing, brother? He said he voted just Ryan. Nando, Ryan looks like he got his man strength at 140. That's another thing. He looks stronger at that weight. Now, could it just be the opponent? I mean, that's the thing. He was probably north of 150 in the ring, says Lee Groves. Well, there you go. Happy Chavi says the Luke Campbell shot was the best thing that happened to Ryan. I like how he fought from the outside. He's long, and tall. Yeah, there you go. Javante has to come a long way to catch him. There you go. A Tupac 13. Bruce Goss, salute, he says. Shout out to Bruce Goss. For sure. Look, man. Keep the comments coming, guys.
Salute, Tupac.
Yeah, right. That's right.
Tupac.
That's right. Come with me. Help me. No, but here's the thing. He called out Tank Davis. Was Manny was that cap? Is he serious? Does he really want that fight? In your opinion?
Yeah, I think he really wants it. I think he really wants it. Is it the right time from him? Maybe not now. I mean, the problem is it's not going to happen. I mean, you got a lot of implications there, Dan. When you're looking about the promoters and you're looking about everything else behind it, the politics in boxing, it's just it's going to be a Crawford and Spence, which by the way, it's finally happening, but it's going to take time before that happens. And it should. I think Ryan, you're right, and Ryan needs to develop himself in some of the areas. I think he is getting really good connection with Gusen and his new training camp, and I believe that I have no idea why he decided to move up at 140. Does he prefer to do that? Is it he want to unfinished business with who? With Tank, that he wants to be able to get him at 140 is a lot easier to get him 135, or is he really can't make the weight and it's difficult going into the 140 is a different animal, is a different beast. And then remember, you got to go through Teofimo, you got to go through Prograis. Are you going to move up to 140 and not fight any of these guys? I mean, what's the point? So I thought he would at least make an attempt with Devin Haney. They've always had a beef between each other. They dislike each other as well. But I believe, like Bruce said, earlier, that he had comment is more about the ego, is more about the accolades, it's more about the respect. What kind of respect is that more important to you? And that's the only thing I don't agree with him. Because if you go with that mindset with Tank Davis, it'll take 2 seconds to knock you down. All right, and it won't be with a Luke Campbell shot. It'll be with a uppercut that Leo Santa Cruz has seen, and an uppercut that Rolly Romero has seen, right? And so I just don't think it's the right time right now.
Gotcha. I am Dwayne this time. How realistic do y'all think the Tank fight will happen? I don't see Floyd playing ball. He's doing the old top ranked book, all in house fights. Shout out to Nando again. Shout out to you, brother. He says Tank is fighting Pitbull rematch happening Mars and maybe Frank Martin next. It is what it is, man.
You know what I noticed a lot too yesterday. Right now, I get my information every day. It's like before we'd have to wait every month till Ring came out, KO came out, Boxing Illustrated, and those were we drool for those magazines. Today, I'm sub to 5 or 6 different internet magazines, and they have to come out with a new story every day. It's not like a 1 story a month, 2 stories a month. This is, you guys know what I'm talking about, man.
Sure.
Yesterday and today, half the stories were Ryan calling out Tank, Tank calling out Ryan, Ryan's brother telling Tank what's going to happen to him, Tank saying see you at the end of the year. I mean, it's like you said, my brother Manny, it's like talk the talk or walk the walk, and now's the time. So cash in on this fight. The money can be made. I mean, it's money. I don't even think that's a thought anymore. I think when they want to make a fight, the money's going to be there. Where it's coming from, I don't know anymore. I don't even, the pay-per-view thing. That's the craziest thing in the world. But getting on track here right now. If this fight's not made, it's going to fall into the things where boxing's the joke of a Bud Crawford and Errol Spence fight. Just saying it's never going to happen. But how can it not happen? These are the 2 champions in the welterweight division. Yeah, but I'm sick. I don't want to see it happen anymore because I've been talking about it for years. This fight is hot right now. These fighters, they need superstar status, and right now, bango, cash in, make the fight. We'll be talking about this fight till it happens around Christmas.
What if we get lucky and we get a second fight and then a trilogy, right? That's what the boxing needs. It needs some of these fights to be made fairness enough, and then it's so good that we want to see it again for the second time, and then the second time is even better. Why not? They're both talented. They both got that will, and they both dedicated. They committed to the sport.
Yeah, absolutely. There's no doubt about that. Now, really quick here, Team Batman. I agreed. He looked decent, exactly what I expected and bet on. I had Ryan and Shiraz on both win by stoppage. 80 to win, to $80 to win 100 plus. You're 80
Wow.
back, easy money. There you go. Lee Groves. Ryan did exactly what he was expected to do. He showed improvement and on offense, but he still has that chin in the air and still isn't confident with his right hand. A work in progress, but there is progress. Well, there you go. Guido says, "Tell me." Well, to me, Ryan Garcia looked like he is maturing. Also, like how he kept his guard up, but we all knew Javier Fortuna is trying to hit with the right hand. Absolutely, without Ryan is going to fight long and smart from now on. His defense will always be his weakness, but if he continues to fight long, he'll master it. He'll turn into Shakur, except with supernatural powers. Says Happy J. All right, man. Okay, I definitely think they both want it. Well, it will happen anytime soon. Will it happen anytime soon? I highly doubt it's his Team Batman. Nando Llamas, Top Rank will do business with Ryan and Goldenboy Promotions. They're looking for a successful pay-per-view at the lighter weights for ESPN. Absolutely. Vivo and Bruce, a loss wouldn't be the end of the world for either Tank or Ryan, he says. Well, there you go. Lee Groves. Unfortunately, trilogies will take a year and a half to complete because of the superstar schedule followed by the non-superstars. That is distinctive. Lennox was best in the building. How you doing, brother? Rick Garcia, highly. I'm not really sure on the other people's seat to have these doubts. Man, Shushan, what's good, folks? Hello, this down chat. How you doing, brother? All right, Guido says, what do you guys think about Oscar Collazo performance? The Puerto Rican and Lennox with best one more comment here, I'll read, guys. From what I've seen, even the bad performances, Garcia looks better than Tank. He has speed and power that will get them absolutely. Shout out to the Boxing Republican Nancy in the building. How you doing? And Athena Rivera, great fight Saturday. Absolutely. Shout out to you. Okay, and there you go. And Nancy gets how many exclamation points is she going to get for Lee Groves? All right. What is that? Happy Javi, comment there. Hey, I want to take this question to you from Guido. What do you guys think about Oscar Collazo performance, the Puerto Rican? I have not had the chance to watch the fight, but Manny, I'll take it to you, brother. What you think?
We're pretty excited. Puerto Ricans lacked of champions. I think there was a time in where the island kind of, I don't want to say parted ways, but I don't think they kind of pull back in developing some of these youngsters when they start. And I remember back when I grew up, when I was a kid, every gym was open, every gym was packed, whether you had a talent or not, they accepted you. And that's how boxing grew in Puerto Rico. It's part of us. Whether you're involved inside of it or you're just as a fan, and every weekend you get together just to get these pay-per-views and get the fights, that's what happens. And then you get the super champions, the ones that they leave a mark, and all of a sudden, they're gone. They're just retired. And what do we got? What do we got? And Puerto Ricans, and boxing fans, they have to be pretty excited about this kid, Oscar Popilo Cuyazo, in his 5th fight. All right, he's already earned the right to become a mandatory for the WBO, and that will be a what's his name? Eric Rosa. But the way he did it, and this is the way that we talked about a lot, is you doing it by proving yourself that your opponent. The previous fight to that, he fought Pedro Villegas, undefeated Ecuadorian that had that poise, that had that talent, that had that future ahead of him, and he actually knocked him out. And now he fights former world champion Big Saludar, the speed, the movements. One of the things that he's got different from anyone else is the basic fundamentals when it comes to boxing, and that is stamina. A lot of these young, talented individuals, all they want to put the time with the gloves in the gym sparring, but they forget about running. They forget about the endurance, the stamina. He took punches. He did throw a lot of punches, and he still ended like nothing has happened, right? Big Saludar is a very good opponent. He does counterpunch well. He's got a great right hand, and the kid can switch stance as well. So he's a natural southpaw, but he can switch in orthodox and still be able to be selective with the punches. And so it's got everyone excited. And we've been talking about him a lot for quite some time. And I believe that in my eyes, he could be that champion, right? 105 pounds minimum weight. I get it, but we got to enjoy when you see someone as skilled as he is, in the way he is represent himself. It's not hard to fall in love with what he's doing. So we're excited about that, man. Next time, that next fight, hopefully Rosa signs the contract and we get another world champion for Puerto Rican.
Yeah, absolutely. Happy Javi says, I think Tank and Ryan shouldn't happen right now. You need to build it up and make the most money from it. I say 3 to 4 years. In a perfect world, they should fight at least twice. Ryan wins both. In 3 to 4 years, like Tank's going to be like 33 or some shit. Like in 3 to 4 years. Tank's running out of time, ladies and gentlemen. Tank is running out of time. I could get hit by a bus next year and not see this fight. Let's just see this fight.
Look at that.
You want me to see this fight, please. You want me to see this fight.
I'm probably going to go bungee jumping and fall face first and die. And this fight didn't happen because Happy Javi wanted to wait. You know what I mean? For the fight. Shout out to Teresa D in the building. How you doing? She says salute to the chat. Nando Yamas, how's it going, brother? Team Batman Tank has much better rhythm and upper body movement than Garcia. He can dart in and out with his much faster feet. Both have speed and power, though. Exciting fight while it lasts. And by the way, Lennox was best. I was about to mention his comment, but let me just read his response instead. It says, Batman, that comparison means nothing to me. That's like saying Canelo got better agility than Benavidez, but it won't matter if they can still get hit. Tank's been hit loads of times. He was just losing to Santa Cruz, and Barrios. Mario Barrios was beating him. Yeah, I actually did have Barrios ahead. I'm not going to lie. Barrios was ahead of my scorecard.
So was Isaac Cruz as well.
I thought Isaac Cruz got him for sure, brother. We're being joined by the one and the only representing Texas. You're finally cool. Look at this. He's representing Texas. That's what we're talking about. You know what I mean? Alex Boxing. Talk to us, brother. What you think about Ryan Garcia? Right? What you think of, is it Lion Ryan or King Ryan or just plain old Ryan or Private Ryan?
The truth is always somewhere in the middle, right? So we're somewhere between Lion Ryan and King Ryan. Prince. You definitely can't be the king if you're not competing for the real belts in the division, right? Is he at 135? Is he at 140? What's going on? So as far as the performance, if you're asking me about the performance, he performed how we expected, correct? Because what did we say last week when we had our betting line show? He's minus 1,200 favorite. The over-under was 7.5 rounds. It was cut straight down the middle, even odds both ways. So what Vegas was telling us was middle rounds is going to get dicey for Fortuna. And they expected a middle round Ryan Garcia stoppage. We expected the same, which is why we said there's really no value in this fight. And it's what happened. So what were the questions about Ryan Garcia coming in? The questions were not, I can tell you what the questions weren't. The questions were not, does he have hand speed? We knew that. The question was not, does he have punching power? We knew that. We knew he was an economical fighter coming in. He was economical in this fight as well. High percentage of power punches landed. We knew all of this about Ryan. So we knew that after the fight as well. He showed us all that on Saturday night, but no questions were going to get answered here. None, right? No questions were going to get answered here. No questions were answered. One good thing it does, one meaningful part about this fight is it gets him back to his timetable, right? And we said that, he said that after the fight. It gets me back on my timetable before the mental health break to where I was fighting Fortuna again, and we'll see where he goes forward. If we're talking about Ryan Garcia versus Tank Davis, I have a lot of thoughts on that, but I'll leave it at where we're at right now because I don't know if you're asking about that.
Gentlemen, tune in to Aftermath. Well, we were definitely on that already. Well, what do you think about him calling out Tank Davis? Called him out. Like I said, he wants to fight. Is it all cap? Do you believe him?
No, that's what we want, right? We want the fighter to finish the job. And in finishing the job, you call the fighter out that you want in the post-fight interview. right? So many times we see the fighters say, oh, yeah, I got to talk to my manager. I got to talk to my promoter. I got to talk to my family to see if I need time off. Ryan went straight to it, and he said, I want Tank Davis next. And if that doesn't happen, I want Teofimo Lopez at 140. The issue with it is this. I'm hearing already all of the roadblocks that are in the way, right? The roadblock of one's with DAZN, one's with Showtime, one's with Oscar, one's with Floyd. Jeez. All of the roadblocks. The new roadblock is going to be Ryan Garcia just did 11,000 fans in his own hometown when Tank Davis against similar opposition did 15,000 2 fights ago in the same building. So that's going to be the new roadblock is Tank Davis's team is going to say, hey, my guy has to take a 5-hour flight to this building. He did 15,000. You can take a $12 Uber drive to this building and you did 11,000. So that's going to be the new one. It's the purse split. And I'm hearing how this fight is so unrealistic. I like that Ryan called out Tank. I hope the fight happens. And I believe, I just so happen to be a gullible boxing fan, just speaking as a boxing fan to other boxing fans. This fight is realistic. People need to understand that. It's realistic. All of these fights are realistic. Bruce Gass will tell you. He just wants to see the fights. I just want to see the fights. And as boxing fans, these fights are realistic. I'm tired of hearing about these self-made obstacles that these promoters and managers put in front of these fights. These fights are realistic, and this fight should happen next. Instead, we're going to get Ryan Garcia versus Jojo Diaz, which is a decent fight. It's a decent fight, but it's not the fight we want to see. And we're going to get Tank versus God only knows who. Maybe Isak Cruz 2, maybe Matteo Barrios 2, maybe Frank Martin. Who knows? Who knows? But we're not going to get the fight we want to see. And guess what? I want people to know this point because I'm already hearing about, this is not realistic because of the other side of the street. Tank Davis is a promotional free agent right now. So if Tank Davis wants the big fights, like I'm always told that the fighters want the fights. It's just the promoter getting in the way. It's the networks getting in the way. I'm always told the fighters want the fights. Devin Haney wanted the fights. Guess what Devin Haney did? He went and signed a 4-fight deal with Top Rank, and he got his fights.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
So if Tank Davis wants the big fights, go to Top Rank. Sign a 2-fight deal. He's got more leverage. Sign a 2-fight deal, 1-fight deal, whatever you got to do. Go to Goldenboy for a 1-fight, 2-fight deal and get your big fights. But instead, we know what he's going to do. And we know what fights we're going to get next.
Damn. Shout out to Lennox was best. Lennox was best tripling down, says, I think Luke Campbell would have probably beaten Tank, he says. Man, and shout out to Chauncey Pearls, man. Shout out to you, Long Live Boxing in the chat. He said, just Ryan. Okay, well, there you go. Shout out to the Long Live Boxing crew, by the way. Nando Yama says, big thumbs up for Calix. So jab the like for Calix Boxing. There you go. Even in the nice blue color and everything. You know what I mean? The whole nine. Hey, look. Happy Jay is telling us, be patient. It'll be a huge fight in 3 to 4 years. Keep feeding Tank Mexican tortillas while Ryan actually sharpens his skills by fighting guys like Tio and Loma. Ryan going to get better while Tank has peaked. Well, it's going to age him out. You want to age him out? I want the fight now. Let's just do it now. I'm just saying. It's just me. But hey, Happy Java, you want to wait? Cool. You have patience? Okay. If I get hit by a bus and I never see the fight, it's your fault. You know what I mean? I'm saying. Hey, Nando Llamas, Ryan looking solid at 140. Noteworthy. Absolutely. Guido says Saving Private Ryan will be a good name. Absolutely. Stop saving Private Ryan, Happy Javi. We don't need to save Private Ryan. Okay? He's not the only son left of his parents. We don't need to save him. I'm just saying. Stop being like those soldiers that went to go look for Private Ryan to save him. So let's stop doing that. Let's see the fight. I want to see the fight. You know what I mean? However, I do like those fights, though. I'll take Loma Tio fights any day. Okay, we'll speak about that in a moment. Lennox was best. People say Garcia got no movement or footwork. He hasn't needed it. He's had enough to close with his Furies. Absolutely. Lee Groves, one more comment here before we proceed. But if the fight takes place in 3 to 4 years and Ryan wins by KO, he won't get the full credit because Tank will be several years past his chronological peak.
It's a waste of time in 3-4 years.
Yeah, I'm just saying. Hey, shout out to, let me just give some quick shout outs before I proceed. Reese Mack, Boxing Magic Mex, how's it going? Victor Ramirez, but who did Tank fight at that arena? I'm not sure what you guys are talking about. I think the Staples Center, aka the Crypto Arena, whatever it's called. Yeah, I just want to see the fight. Says Nando Yama, Lennox was best. Those fights, those guys rather fight, see paper to see Tank versus a cab driver to get ready to learn. Man, all right. We got Dr. Mofongo on here. Chauncey Pearls. Okay, shout out to Chauncey Pearls, man. El Chido Boxing in the building. Shout out to you. All right. In the ring with Christine, she said he looked okay. He still has a lot to work on. Man, everybody's all hyped up, pumped up, and Coach Racine just shows up. He's all right. You know, look okay. Angel Johnson, who has a more beautiful Alicia Keys or Halle Berry? Who's more beautiful?
Halle.
Yeah,
classy Halle.
You know what I mean? For sure.
She's classy.
Okay, Chief Bucket says stopping by to share the like and share the show. Absolutely. Reese Mack. Shout out to the one and all. There we go. Anyway, look, Ryan did say, look, if Tank don't want to fight me, I'll take Teofimo Lopez. Right? I like that fight. I like that fight. Calix, Teofimo Lopez versus Ryan. Like, you'd be down. ESPN or the Zone. Don't matter. You know you're down.
Oh, there's no doubt. But I'm confused once again. I'm left here confused. I've been told that Ryan Garcia can't fight the top guys at 135 because they were top ranked. So who is Teofimo Lopez with?
Who's he with?
Top rank.
Okay, so I'm confused. Like,
so he's at 140, not 135.
I know. So I'm confused. Like, if he can't fight the top guys at 135 because they were top rank, but now he can fight one of the big names at 140, but he's with top rank. I'm just confused with all of this. I'm confused. I'm constantly told that the fighters are the ones who want the fights, that the promoters and the managers and network execs are in their way. But
are you saying you don't believe that? You're saying, are these fighters ducking each other or avoiding each other? However you want to work it.
What I believe is Ryan Garcia knows that he can't get the Teofimo Lopez fight, so why not just call him out? That's
you think he's capping.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit of this. Look, I hope not. I hope
shooting blanks is what he's saying.
I hope Ryan Garcia versus Tank Davis happens next. That's the fight that needs to happen. And I believe Ryan Garcia wants that fight.
You're accusing this guy of shots fired with blanks, pretty much.
Possibly.
Manny, talk to us. What do you think? Do you think it's all cap? What do you, if it's not, Tank, hey, Teofimo, let's do it.
It'd be nice. I'd love to see it. I mean, anything that has to do with the Ryan, Tank, Teom, I like to see it. It's in my eyes, is Tank Davis going to happen? I told you earlier. No, not for the moment. Teofimo and Ryan, if it didn't happen early enough when they were 135, I just don't think at this time right now it's not going to happen. Teo fights Campo or fights just
Campos.
Finalized Campos. Exactly. And then there's another guy at the 140. We know that Ramirez is tied up, will be tied up possibly with the Chon Cepeda, and you got Regis Prograis. Wouldn't it be a great fight, Regis and Ryan? I mean, you got nothing to lose. If you want to prove yourself at the 140 and you want to stick there, you have got to start fighting the best. If you are ready at 135, you got to be ready at 140. If you're that superstar like De La Hoya believes he is, and I think he's got a spark of that. And I think mentally now he's in a better state of mind, and I think with Goosen continue to improve in some of those areas, I think he'll be great. But you got to start fighting big fights right now. You can't just take any of these, tune-ups here, there. It's not time for the tune-ups. Tank, or go to Regis if that's the case.
Somebody just said, "How about Regis Prograis?"
Yeah,
I think Kelly has a point. Like he's not knocking on the doors that he knows they'll answer. Like because if he calls out Regis, like Regis is gonna if you knock on his door, he's gonna open it. There's no doubt. Okay. Like he's gonna open it before the knuckles hit. Like, what's up? Let's do this. Like, there definitely is a little bit of that there. There's a lot of obstacles. There's firewalls between the fights that he's calling for. You know what I mean? He knows there's going to be there's going to be there's firewalls. There's the zone. There's the PBC thing. Later, Allerby calls his own like an app nobody watches. And is Goldenboy going to loan Ryan to be on PBC pay-per-view? Like, are they really going to do that? Like, I don't know. Like, I don't care what way they go. I just want to see the fight. I would prefer Tango to the zone and not resign with Goldenboy. I don't know if that's official. Do you guys know that's official? Did he resign with Mayweather Promotions?
Who's that?
Well, the man of the hour, Tank Davis.
No, not yet. But it sounds like he will. It sounds like it's imminent.
Hey, Bruce Goss, well, what do you think? Would you be down for Teofimo versus Ryan Garcia? Do you think it's all cap? I think Bruce Goss stepped away for a moment. He's on mute.
I'm confused with the move to 140. From what I'm hearing, this fight was at 140 because Fortuna couldn't make 135 anymore. So that makes sense. Ryan Garcia fighting Fortuna at 140, for a one fight off deal. Okay, I get it. But it sounds like he wants to stay at 140. If Tank wants to fight me, he's got to fight me at 140, which it could be another roadblock. Then I'll fight Teofimo Lopez at 140. Mm-hmm. It just seems like people are calling me a Ryan Garcia hater all of a sudden, and I'm not. Like I said,
you're a hater, man.
The fight on Saturday, he did what he was supposed to do. He looked good. I mean, he looked good. We know he has hand speed. We know he has a punching power. He's got all that stuff, and he's got the crossover style, all of that. But the fights that are meaningful in these divisions, it doesn't seem like Ryan Garcia is calling for, like for the real belts. And these are fights that could have been made in the past. And like what was just said, if he couldn't fight Teofimo Lopez at 135, now he's going to fight him at 140. Okay. But I just look at it as Tank Davis and Ryan Garcia have 16 years combined experience. And with that 16 years combined, they've gotten one top 5 fighter on their resume. One in 16 years combined. Wow. So they can solve this together. They can solve this problem together. They can fight each other. They're universally recognized as number 4 and number 5 in their division. They can fight a top 5 fighter within their division at 135 and get the fight done. Even if it's for no belts, it's meaningful and it's a crossover fight, and whoever wins that fight will get a big win on their resume. They can solve this right now if they want to. They can remove all of the obstacles if they go to their promoters and truly say, I want this fight now.
Hey, look, Callie, don't sweat the people. Like, these are the people calling you a hater. Okay, like this guy right here. Okay, this is the type of. This is what a fucking fanboy looks like. Okay,
that looks like Jim Carrey in Dumb and Dumber right there.
Look at all these dudes that trying to touch him. Like, have you seen that scene in the Dawn of Justice? Like when they're all trying to touch Superman. You know what I mean? Like that's what it is. That's what fanboys look like right there. That's what you guys look like yelling and shit. Oh, you're a hater. You hate him because you hate him because he has 5 million followers. You got nothing. You hate him. Like
look,
whatever.
I want to be somewhat positive when it comes to Ryan Garcia though, because he's not 10 years in. He's 6 years in. He just fought Fortuna, and it looks like he's going to fight regardless. I think Jojo Diaz is going to be the fight next. So he's number 6 right now in the rankings. So that would be a good win if he beats Jojo Diaz. So it looks like he's trending more in the right direction. All I'm saying, man, is you have to keep it real where fighters are in their careers up to this point if we want to get a good, sustainable sport. We can't just be on here capping for fighters and managers and promoters because we're doing their job for them. And we continue to do their jobs for them. The hard work. Look, ESPN Plus is about to go up on their subscription. DAZN just went up on their subscription. I got people telling me I should pay $150 for Spence Crawford just to get the fight done. We're always asked to foot the bill for all of this stuff. I just ask that you give me the fights that I want to see. That's it. And I'm going to be unapologetic in that. The no-brainer fight next is Tank Davis versus Ryan Garcia. It's a no-brainer. Get the fight done. It's a no-brainer. I don't want to hear anything else about consolation prize. Look, we're already not getting Bivol versus Beterbiev because of boxing politics. And there's no reason for it. My main message today is realistically, these fights should happen. I keep hearing that it's not realistic for Tank Davis, Ryan Garcia. It's bullcrap. It is realistic. It can happen next. It can happen next. Something's got to give, but the fight should happen next.
And who's willing to give? That's the problem. And that's what makes it very difficult. And that's why people are more leaning towards like, let me not get too excited because I'm going to end up like Spence Crawford for a couple of years. Finally, we got it. And we're all excited. We're happy. How long do we have to wait for that? And we feel the same way that we have to wait for the same amount of time.
Forever, Manny. We're going to have to wait for the rest of our lives.
Come on.
You know what I mean? And let me get through some of these comments here really quick. Shout out to, once again, to In the Ring with Christine. Shout out to D-Style reading the comments like prescription drug disclaimer. Like, there you go. That's what I do. You know what I mean? Reese, Mac, I like the Hallie over Alicia. All right. Long live boxing. Not a popular opinion, but I still think Luke Campbell was a tougher opponent for Javier than Javier spitting out the mouthpiece Fortuna. Only my opinion. Don't at me. I'm talking to you, Sean. I'm talking to you. What's up? You know what I mean? In the Real Christine. I like Tio versus Ryan. All right. Tio versus Ryan. Fire, says something media. And Christine says Halle Berry all day, every day. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just saying. I used to have a crush on Robin Givens as a kid. Said Lennox was best. All right. I don't know why they're talking about Robin Givens and Halle Berry. Hey, it's all good. Boxing Magic Mex, I see a lot of blaming Ryan, but Tank is the one who's years behind everyone else. He's 28 years old. And that's the thing. The clock favors Ryan, not Tank. Tank's almost 30 years old. He's almost as old as Bruce Goss. He's almost there. Bruce Goss is 30 years old. You know what I mean? What's up, Bruce Goss? What's on your mind, brother?
Oh, bro, I had to take a call, bro, so I had to step out for a second. And I come back, and we're still on this same subject, and
hey,
man, and the same fight too, bro. It's one of these fights where it's like, why not? Ryan's screaming it. He's screaming it at the top of his lungs. He's even starting to sound a little. He's hitting those high notes that only certain guys can hit, and Ryan's one of them guys that can hit them, and that's all I'm going to say on that. But Ryan is also he's a tough kid, and this fight's a natural. Styles mesh. We can see this fight happening. We can see both of these guys making mistakes, and other fighters capitalizing on it and counter punching. Both of them hit like a mule and a hand grenade, and I wouldn't want to be. The hand grenade's gone goodbye. The mule 6 or 7. And in the right spot, it's goodbye too, and that's what this fight has. It's got a conclusive ending, and it's just so interesting. And man, see, I got 3 of the smartest guys on YouTube still talking about this. Well, I had to take a 15-minute phone call.
That's the way it works. Hey, Happy Javi said, we're going over what the fans are saying. They're talking. Happy Javi says Ryan should, if I read this, a natural 140 pounders. They all definitely have physical advantage on Ryan. Ryan should only fight the 135 pounders that come up. I'm gonna blow the whistle, holding, interference, on the play, okay, offsides, everything. I'm throwing the flag out. This is a red card. Okay, bro, you're running interference with Ryan right now. This is my opinion. Go ahead, Alex.
No, first I was gonna say, I fully agree with Bruce in the stylistic matchup of this fight. What makes it intriguing is not only do you have 2 crossover styles at the same point in their career, 2 guys whose career have been stagnant up to this point. You have a stylistic matchup that's great because you have 2 economical fighters at 135. They don't throw a lot. They have the punch output of light heavyweights. They don't throw a lot of punches, but they throw punches with bad intentions. Okay, so you got 2 guys with hand speed, you got 2 guys who are economical, and you got 2 guys who will end the fight with any punch. And it's a beautiful fight. And I keep hearing people on Twitter, people throw out these questions. Can Ryan beat Tank? And people are like, no, Tank can't. He can't beat Tank. He wouldn't even be competitive. Dude, Rolly Romero just won 3 of the 6 rounds against Tank. Matteo Barrios won 5 out of the 10 rounds. Isaac Cruz won 6, arguably 7 against Tank. 7. And people are acting like nobody can be competitive against this guy. You're telling me Isaac Cruz, Matteo Barrios, Rolly Romero, who was on the spectrum, can win rounds off of Ryan Garcia and can win rounds off of Tank, and Ryan Garcia can't? Is that what you're telling me? All right, because
good point.
D-Style, you said this point many times. Tank is undefeated in mythical matchups, and I don't even mean current fighters. Like, he beats a prime Henry Armstrong. He beats 135 Pacquiao. He beats Juan Manuel Marquez.
People say he beat Pryor. I've even heard that.
I mean, why not? Why the hell not? Why not Sugar Ray Robinson at 147? He moved up to 147 and beat him. He beats everybody. He beats everybody. He doesn't have to fight.
He beats Stanos at all 5, gemstones, all of them.
He beats everybody.
They refer to him as a 3-belt titleist, and only people like us will snicker at that. These, his many followers will agree with that. Oh yeah, just like Henry Armstrong. And I've heard that comparison to people where I just kind of had to, click on the channel.
Shout out to A-Rod who's talking about like fuck that puto, Ryan Garcia. He's scared of fighting Loma. He's scared of fighting Haney. He's scared of fighting anybody with a pulse. Like, holy shit. El Chido is not impressed. Okay.
I got one last point real quick, D-Style, is you just talked about fans running in interference for fighters. I'm glad you did that because I saw fans.
I'm going to buy one of those whistles, by the way. I'm going to buy a whistle and I'm going to put on the ref suit.
But I saw fans telling Devin Haney, no, do not go over to Top Rank. Do not sign this deal. Do not go over to Australia to fight this guy. Do not do this. And what does he do? He says, I'm taking a chance on my career. The big fights are over there at 135. I'm going to go over there, sign that deal. And then as a promotional free agent, I'm going to sign a deal. I'm going to get through this deal, and I'm going to be a bigger star than ever after. I'm going to take a chance on myself. So what does he do? He goes beat Kambosos on my scorecard 10 rounds over in Australia, and he's saying, I'll fight Lomachenko next if you want that. I'll fight Kambosos in Australia again next if you want that. And he's going to honor his 4-fight deal with Top Rank. But he took a chance on himself as a fighter and went over there and got the big fights. And he's undisputed champion at 135. What does undisputed mean? It means it's not disputable. He is the champion at 135. And I saw people calling him stupid for doing that. And I still see people saying Devin Haney needs to be more like Ryan Garcia and Tank Davis. He needs to be more entertaining. He was entertaining against Jojo Diaz. That was a fun fight. Linares was a fun fight. And when those fights happened, people were calling him stupid and punch drunk because the fights were entertaining. Now he beats Kambosos 10 rounds and people are calling him boring. He can't win. 100%. He can't win. And Tank's over here fighting nobody, and he's winning every mythical matchup. So no, 100%. Ryan and Tank need to be more like Devin.
Let me try to catch up with some of these comments here. Happy Chavi Mayweather will throw Tank in there versus Garcia at some point for that green, that cheddar. As soon as he sees Tank running out of fumes, he won't waste the opportunity to make it green by allowing Tank to fight Ryan. I got you. All right. Shout out to everybody. By the way, I can't go over all the comments, but Mr. Boxing Today, true, the home of heavyweight boxing talk. Shout out to him. I get young version of American when I see Ryan. Great amateur background, hand speed with his chin straight up in the air. Very good comparison. El Chilo, shout out to you, Long Live Boxing. Tim O2 says Luke Campbell was a gold medal Olympian. Absolutely. Reese Mack. Ryan's got to keep it long range if he faces reaches. Jojo, Teal, or Tank. It will be up to those guys to effectively get a Ryan with a good body attack. Absolutely. The GOAT says Ryan can starch Tank. Man, we're getting a lot of mixed, opinions about this guy, man. About the fight. The different opinions. A lot of guys think it's a good fight. Something Ryan smokes.
I think it's going to be a very even fight. If it happens, I think Tank it has an audience, and also is Ryan. Ryan's leaning more to the younger crowd in the social medias and the Twitters and the Instagrams, and then Tank does what Tank needs to do, and then he's got the Floyd Mayweather behind him, and so that's why it's so interesting. That's why I totally agree with you, Alex. It's just that this is the fight that needs to happen. We got Spence, we got Crawford. Now we need to get this one, and then honestly. I'm one of the ones that said the Damien is boring, and I keep saying it. But the reality is, one of the things that's making me change is the way he's looking into the future. And if Devin Haney starts fighting Loma, beats him, Loma, then he goes back and either Camboso or whatever it is. Now he's going to have to get a lot of that credit that all the other guys are not, are getting, and they're not putting the work in the ring or giving the boxing fans the excitement for me to pay 150, 180. I know Bruce don't pay for them, but I do. But yeah, we want that. If I'm the customer. Why ain't I getting the fights that I need? And that's why I love the show, because I only pay one fee a year, and I see a bunch of great fights out there.
I have a question I want to present to you guys that's kind of related to this. So hear me out. And let me first read this comment because I'm gonna kind of go with it here. Happy Javis says Ryan likes Haney. I feel sorry for him. That's why he won't fight him and beat him. Haney needs those belts. He can't sell. He's allowing his friend Haney to shine a little bit. Look, here's what I want to say. I've been here long enough, and I've been following boxing long enough to hear all that same old tired stuff. Not so much what Javi said. He's allowed to have his opinion. But this whole and I saw Warwick tweet about this and I'm more impressed with the popularity of Ryan and Tank and their ability to sell tickets than I am with the other guys that are supposedly fighting each other and are good champions. What? Stuff like this type of attitude is the reason it's morphed and it's evolved into guys like Jake Paul, no offense to him, headlining boxing pay-per-views. Because you made it about popularity and not about, as Ring IQ would say, substance. It's not about substance anymore. It's about popularity. What do you bring to the table? How popular are you? All this type of stuff. How many social media followers do you have? And how many people, how many casuals know who you are? And boxing fans valuing that over accomplishments, who you fought, testing yourself, giving us good fights, putting on great boxing performances, stuff like that. We're not valuing that. Well, you all, not me, not anybody in this panel, but you know what I mean. All that is what gave rise to these YouTubers boxing. And then you guys get mad about it, right? Why are these guys on pay-per-view? And and then you get Jake Paul making fun of fighters because they can't draw and he's bigger than them. And Canelo just lost to, I don't even know who that guy is. He should have fought me instead. Just saying dumb shit like that. You know what I mean? This is what happens when, and I don't agree with Teddy Atlas a lot. I don't. But he's right. He was right about this one. Boxing has become an event-driven sport instead of just a sport. You know what I mean? It doesn't function as a sport. It's functioning like events are carrying it. And you see people justifying, well, he should get a title shot because he's popular or he didn't earn it, but he draws tickets though, so it's okay. And all this other stuff is the reason why Jake Paul is headlining a pay-per-view and the president of Showtime Sports is up there after kissing his ass so long and rubbing his balls in front of the whole world, okay, and has a sore jaw afterwards, okay, that's the reason this shit's happening. That's the reason why. And it's only going to get worse if we keep going. If you value Garcia over the undisputed champion just based off the fact that, he's more popular, and you value Tank over guys that have done the shit, right? If you do because he sells tickets, because he has social media followers. if that's what you value over proving yourself in that ring, then don't be shocked when, guys that are big on social media with 20 million subscribers come over here and they get paid more than all your favorite boxers and make all the money and they draw everything. Don't be shocked because that's what you're valuing. Then you open the Pandora's box for that, and then it becomes on steroids because you can fake that funk. You can't fake proving it in the ring. Proving it in the ring can't be fucking faked. Put yourself to the gauntlet. Either you do it or you don't. You can fake everything else. You can be popular and fake it while you make it. You can do that. But I want you guys kind of opinion about that. Is that an issue? I'll start with you, Manny. Is that an issue with boxing where fans are valuing social media followers, like all the wrong things over what guys actually do in the ring?
Yeah. And I think that a lot of fans are fed up with the politics in boxing and not having the fights that they want to see be made. Remember, everything's about what you put up in social media, and if it entertains you, you're going to do it. I'm going to give a quick example. All right, YouTuber in Puerto Rico, Gallo the Producer, millions of followers. There's another guy called Samito. He is Santana. He was a boxer well known because he fought Benavides Jr. and he also beat Josue Vargas for the first time. Retired. There's a big beef between them because Gallo the Producer has followings and attract people, and he's crazy. They put a guy that only had 4 amateur fights against someone that was a pro, and they put him inside the ring together, and guess what? 15,000 people went to see that. They did a nice undercard with some great prospects over there. But why do you think people went and saw something that they started looking at social media, starting to get hyped up? Is because they're tired and bored of the fact that I'm not being entertained with all the politics behind boxing. It's actually their own fault. But you're absolutely right. Us that we're hardcore fans, that we want to see the boxing progress, we can't be tolerating or hyping up some of these things like you're mentioning. We got to look at the fact who's got the talent, who's putting the work. And I don't have any problem if any of these YouTubers, they come in and commit to the sport. That's why I don't have problems now with Jake, because they commit to the sport. They train and they're doing something for the sport. Then it's okay. Bring it, because it's going to bring more fans and entertainers, and hopefully we can grab some of those fans while they make the big fights happen. That makes sense.
But yeah, you know what I'm saying. One more thing about this fight, man. I think this is going to be like no other fight we've seen before, because this is going to be the most passion, the most hatred. You're going to see it's all going to be the YouTube wars. I mean, you think Manny and you think Pacquiao and Floyd was crazy with everything going back and forth. This is going to be crazier. You're going to have the 1 billion followers against the loyal tanks. I mean, it's going to be nuts. And this is something that I'm going to enjoy the hell out of it, because I can foresee it. And this is going to be a short thing. I could care less who wins this fight, man. I want to see. I can see many conclusions of this fight. I can see mistakes that they make, and I can see the power, like my brother Callie was saying, fight-ending power like that, rib-crushing body shots, both men, and open to Tank was arguably lost on points the last 2 fights that he had, and once again, everybody's showing the weaknesses that Ryan Garcia has. Damn, this is such a natural, and the way to milk it is do it with press conferences, but sign the fight and get it on paper, get us anticipating it, get a date, and we'll take it for real, and then build it up. And it really doesn't need any build up; it's going to build up itself. But sure. Like I said, man, this is going to be something like you've never seen out there, man.
Like you've never seen before. Mr. Bonds today too says, I was disappointed to hear someone like B-Hop downplay Undisputed for who is more popular. Calix, we've had guys be popular before, but they still wanted to fight the best. De La Hoya, people could say whatever they want about Oscar De La Hoya, he fought the best. Felix Trinidad was popular, one of the biggest names in the history of Puerto Rico. He wanted to fight the best. He went up there. He wanted to become the dude at middleweight. He kept moving up till finally got defeated. This isn't look, Jack Dempsey was the most popular man in the world. He wanted to fight the best. Jack Johnson, Everyone knew who he was. He wanted to fight the best. The world heavyweight champion was the biggest prize in all of boxing. They needed to fight the best. There's something odd nowadays, Calix, where we're seeing shit like this.
Yeah, and do y'all hear my mic good? Because I
Yes.
accidentally unplugged
Yeah,
it. Okay, good. And the reason it doesn't look right, D-Style, is because when the sport is right, it resembles a sport. When a sport doesn't resemble a sport, it looks weird. It resembles a circus act. And it resembles a business model. And business is fine. We all get it. Fighters have to make money. None of us are the guys in the Coliseum off with their head, right? All of us want fighter safety. But when it resembles a sport where guys are part-time fighters fighting once a year, and then when I'm told that a guy whose career turns a decade old in February 2023, that no, his level of opposition is fine now. He doesn't have to step up. I got a problem with that. I have a problem with, look, I have guys calling me a Ryan Garcia hater today. When all I said was Ryan Garcia looked good on Saturday, but that was to be expected according to the Vegas odds. Everybody who saw something, everybody who did film study on this fight saw what was coming. But we want to see Ryan Garcia move forward now. And I'm called a hater for that. How am I a Ryan Garcia hater when the people calling me a Ryan Garcia hater for that? The people calling me a Ryan Garcia hater want him to step up 3 to 4 years from now. So what they're telling you is they don't value Ryan Garcia as a fighter, because if they did, they want him to step up now because they think Ryan Garcia is good enough to step up now. But they don't think he's good enough to step up for another 3 to 4 years. I'm saying he's good enough to step up now. He's good enough to fight a top 135 guy right now. He's good enough to fight the top 140 guys right now. Fight him. So I'm a hater for thinking Ryan Garcia is good enough, talented enough, has a high enough ceiling to fight the top guys in the division he's competing in. I'm a hater for thinking that Tank Davis needs to step up the competition, that Tank Davis has the ability, the ceiling to be the top fighter at 130. He has the ability to beat real top guys at 140. But I'm a hater for expecting and demanding more of Tank Davis than the Tank Davis fanboys do. It's the same thing I said about Floyd Mayweather for years. Why couldn't he fight Manny Pacquiao in 2009? Why couldn't he fight Sergio Martinez at a catchweight? But I was a Floyd Mayweather hater because I demanded and expected more of him than his hardcore fan base did.
But look, compared to these dudes, I mean, Mayweather had an amazing career compared to these dudes. Like I'll just say that right now. At least Floyd was fighting guys that were considered something. Like these guys, like they're really not. But Max says events have always driven boxing, but what you want the event to be is a matchup of great skill against great skill, and not some faded ex-athlete against a popular internet celebrity. Absolutely, that's 100%. Teresa D, I appreciate the support. She says, don't forget to jab the like button. Absolutely, make sure you guys do that. Lee Groves, one more comment here. Every big fight has accompanied by the talk of politics and why it can't be made. That's the price we pay for not having centralized structure. Absolutely, 100%. One more, actually. Batista, to be honest, Jake was already famous before boxing. Jake could go compete in curling and be YouTube famous, which is famous. Boxing decided to use Jake for attention. Absolutely. I'm not saying they didn't. Boxing opened the door for all that with the way fans have been acting. Like 20 years ago, Jake Paul would have been on celebrity boxing on like TNT or some shit. He wouldn't have been headlining pay-per-views. I'm just letting you guys know the culture has shifted and changed dramatically for sure. Okay. So that's that. Okay. Look at this dude. I don't know, man. I mean, I'm kind of scared of these Ryan Garcia fans, bro. Look at them. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they're going to come out.
You mean I still have a chance?
That's like, did Jim Carrey turn into like a Ryan Garcia fan or something? What's going on over here? You know what I mean?
Totally redeems himself.
You know, like I'm just saying. So you know, like I'm just saying. All right. Look, another thing here, and I know that look, I haven't talked about this fight for weeks now, okay? But Spence Crawford still hasn't been announced. Let's talk about the most overtalked fight that may or may not happen, okay? Bruce Gass, are you losing hope that we get this fight? Have you just lost interest, or are you hopeful? Are you optimistic we're going to get it?
These styles, I'm so laid back that I don't care. I'm not going to get emotional about it, but I've been wanting to see this fight for years now. Now that there can be no possible pinnacle at welterweight than this fight. It's right. Just no question about it. This is Hearns Leonard of this generation, and if it doesn't happen, it's only going to just kind of show people how boxing has just gone so far down the sewer that they're not even being logical about it and unifying titles that two guys in the same country, the same time, the same age, they're both in their primes, and this fight's not being made. I mean, the Martians must be looking down and laughing at this shit. But I don't know these styles. I'm not going to get excited about it, and if it doesn't get made, it's really just a shame on us, man. It's a shame on boxing for not happening. Because when you think about it, how many fights of this magnitude haven't been made throughout the illustrious career of this sport that we love? Not too many of them. You have to think real hard, man.
I got one. I got really
okay.
Go against Lewis. That was
see that fight was actually signed, bro. That fight was signed.
There was no money.
No, the money was there. It was to the, I think it was 8 million and 11 million respectively. Bo getting the larger share, but Lennox Lewis took a fucking tune-up with a guy named Oliver McCall, and bango, there's a lesson to be learned right there.
Yeah.
But that fight was just a shade away from being made, believe me.
Absolutely.
But, that's why this fight has to be made now, because what if Ortiz comes into the picture and dethrones one of these so-called kings? There goes the fight. There goes the amount of money that we're going to be made. I mean, Manny and Floyd.
I have no. Hey, Bruce, if Boots goes in and beats one of them, or Virgil Ortiz goes in there and beats one of them, good. That's how I feel about it.
Well, that's good. why they're the fools for not getting this thing going while they can make the money, while the irons are hot, because anything can happen. Like I said, just ask Riddick Bowe.
No, for sure. Calix, are you losing interest in this fight, or are you still kind of excited about it, optimistic? Crawford Spence, the fight everyone talks about every day. I haven't talked about this fight for weeks, and I'm gonna get some of myself. Like, why are you talking about that fight? I haven't talked about it for weeks. Okay, but what do you think? I mean,
I also haven't talked about it, but guess what? I am excited about the prospect of it, and I am optimistic. The reason I'm optimistic is I've seen Errol Spence Jr. 3 times now come on Showtime before fights and say, we're close. This fight's going to happen. And he also said that it's going to happen before the end of the year. So I think he's actively out there trying to get the fight. I don't think he's capping. And I think we're going to get it for undisputed. Yeah. And it's going to be huge. As Bruce Gass said, this is one of the big welterweight fights of the modern era. And I think it's going to be more exciting stylistically. It better be anyway, but it's a better fight stylistically than Mayweather versus Pacquiao was at 147. And Spence is going to go after him early. Crawford is a killer, and there will be a stoppage in this fight, I do believe. But 147 is a locked division. And what I mean by that is you got Crawford and Spence at the top, and then you got a bunch of young lions coming up, waiting to feed off of somebody, and they got nobody who is established with an established name to feed off of. Danny Garcia has moved up to 154. Keith Thurman refuses to do his job as a glorified gatekeeper, and Yordenis Ugas is on ice for the moment. So something has to shake in the division, and Crawford Spence being made will finally give us that guy at 147 that we've been craving for. The welterweight champion of the world. The welterweight. There are divisions where you need a guy, right? You need a guy at heavyweight. You need a guy at middleweight. You need a guy at welterweight. Preferably, you'd like a guy at lightweight as well. But you need that dude. And this is going to crown that dude. And it will also crown the pound-for-pound king of the world.
Mm-hmm. Hey, same question to you, Manny. Are you losing interest? Are you optimistic? Well, how are you feeling about it?
I'm not. And even last year, I remember episode 55, we're talking about it, and it's going to happen, and I'm excited. And the guys are give me a lot of shit. They always do, but I still want to see it, and I totally agree with you, Alex. This fight can make or break boxing. If it happens, it's going to make boxing. If it doesn't, it's going to start leading a negative ripple effect in where all these youngsters that you mentioned underneath, they're not going to be able to fight each other. I mean, right now, people are thinking, if it doesn't happen, who's going to fight next? Those belts are hostage. No one's going to do anything. Virgil Ortiz not going to fight Butinez. Conor Benn's not going to find Roach, by the way. Roach had a great performance this weekend as well. And talk about him, but he had solidified himself distance enough from the top 3, top 4. You see what I'm saying? So it's just going to send a bad sense of like, we can't make fights happen. And these guys are going to heritage that in a way that we're going to sit back. We're going to have to sucker up all these YouTubers, bring in excitement, bring in entertainment, because all they bring is entertainment, and everyone's going to continue to get sucked into that. I'm still optimistic. I want it to happen. I'm not going to give my predictions in yet. I know who I want because I am a fan, but I'm trying to take my fanatic thing away. But the reality is this is what's good for boxing. And I totally agree. The winner of the fight clearly will be the number 1 pound per pound, someone that we've been waiting besides the heavyweights, someone that we've been waiting besides the super middleweights, the Canelos, the Charlos. No, this is 147, the division that took over when heavyweights crashed for years. The 147 is what took over, and we want to see it back again, and that's what we'll do it.
Yeah, that's the way it goes. Look, all I will say is this: I feel the fight will happen, but if it doesn't happen, let me tell you what I'm not going to be doing. Is like just giving these guys some pass, like, oh, the fight didn't happen. That's all right. Go take a tune-up, guys. You know what I mean? Spence, go fight, Mario Barrios or something, and Crawford, go fight Spence. I don't know. You know what I mean? Go take a break, guys. It was so grueling. No. If you motherfuckers don't fight, I'm fully expecting you to fight the young lions. I'm fully. It's time to fight Virgil Ortiz. Give him his shot. It's time to fight Butinez. Give him his shot. Oh, but they ain't ready. So, what do you guys care if they're ready or not? Maybe he is. Maybe he isn't. Like it is what it is. Maybe they're destined to do it. Maybe they're not. But they deserve the shot, though. That I do know. It's time. Either you fight each other, or Boots and Virgil are like right there. So what do you guys want to do? You want to fight each other, or you want to fight these young guns? That's all I will accept. I will not give them any type of pass against anybody else. That's me. And if one of these young guns beats one of these guys, I'm not gonna cry about the fight. Don't cry for me, Argentina. Don't do it. I ain't gonna cry. I'm not gonna be like, oh man, we missed the fight of our generation. It's all Boots' fault. It's all Ortiz's fault. They ruined it. No. It's their fucking job to do what they got to do. All right? Point blank, period. That's all I got to say. So the reason I believe the fight's going to happen is because Virgil and Boots, respectively, in different sanctioning bodies, are rated number 1. That's the truth. Right? It takes one little mandatory, and the only reason they haven't ordered it is because the sanctioning bodies think the fight's going to happen, and they're expecting some cheddar. They're expecting some fights. All right. With that said, guys, we've kind of gone over everything here, but any final words? Bruce Goss, tell everybody where they can find you. Any final words, brother?
Yeah, bro. Appreciate this. Appreciate this honor, these styles. It's good to talk about what's happening in boxing over here, man. And everybody knows where they can find me, man. I'm over at Bruce Gas Boxing, Jazz, and More. Tomorrow night I'm doing Tuesday night fights, and I'm going to be talking with a fighter who I don't know if you've heard too much about it. His name is Tommy Ataro. He's from the Boston area. He had 25 fights. He fought throughout the late 1900s, the 90s, and he fought through 2000. But anyway, man, he's he's got a lot to tell. He's got some stories, and I can't wait to talk to this guy. I dropped my link in the chat, D Styles. If anybody wants to hear some fucking really far out stuff, check us out tomorrow at 7:00 on Bruce Gas, Boxing, Jazz, and more. And God bless, and thanks for having me here once again, D Style. Manny, my brother, thank you so much, man. I'll catch you on Sunday mornings. Callie, you pop up all the time, man. I thank you for being there, bro. It's good to see you all the time, man. I'll see you guys next week if the Lord give it, man. Thank you.
Manny and Vivo Marrero. How's it going, brother? Any final thoughts so that everybody would know where they could find you?
Man, always excited to talk boxing with my brothers. Yeah, you can find us any social medias, and you upload you'd like to you upload your favorite podcast. You're gonna hear us. We're more of a podcast. We're not the last minute breaking news guys. We just like to break it down like it is, like it should be. Our brother Sean and Gringo Hicks Hopper. We give shit out of each other. Puerto Rican versus Mexican, and we love it. Check us out on Sunday recap at 11 o'clock in the morning, and pretty interesting. We got a show for you next weekend coming up, and possibly a future good interview coming up this Thursday. Possibly, if I get a confirmation, we'll see what happens. But thanks for your support, guys. Cal Boxing, thank you so much, Bruce. D-Style, man, I appreciate the invite as always.
Guys. Thanks for coming on, guys. The link to Bruce Gas is there, and there. Go to longlineboxing.com. Check them out. And shout out to you guys. Thanks so much for coming on. Calex, talk to us, brother. First of all, Seniesa Estrads has left Goldenboy promo. I want your quick thoughts on that. She's gone.
Well, she was having frustrations there, so good for her. Good for her. Get her fights, get her active. So good for her. I'm assuming Eddie Hearn. I'm assuming she's going over there. Did I get that right? Because I haven't heard anything. I'm assuming
I haven't heard anything either, but I think most people agree that's the front runner.
I'm assuming that's the place to be if you're a female fighter. Go over to Matchroom, go over to DAZN. So I'm assuming that's where it's going to be. So good for her getting free, and she's going to get her fights because this is the time to get a fight if you're the female fighter. And preferably you want your rival. If you're a female fighter, find your rival, talk some trash, and you're going to get a big fight right now. So good for her.
This is your rival, Calix. It's scary.
It's unreal. And let me speak to this picture real quick.
Sure.
One thing that needs to leave our vocabulary is, that fighter's not ready for that fight. Promoters, managers, network execs have brainwashed us into speaking like them. We need to stop speaking like them. We need to speak out for our own interests as boxing fans. Promoters speak up for themselves. So do managers, network execs. Sanctioning bodies speak up for themselves. Fighters speak up for themselves. And by the way, they have everybody I just mentioned also speak out for them and coddle them. Fight fans don't need to do that as well. Fight fans don't need to act like managers. We don't need to coddle these fighters. We don't need to be saying stuff like, that fighter's not ready for that. Unless you're following that up with, I don't think that fighter's ready for that, but good for him for going for it. All right. I just don't think he's going to win that fight because he's not ready for it. But if we say stuff like the fighter's not ready for it, he needs a couple more years because he's just not ready. He's just not ready. No, we should be saying Boots Ennis is ready for Terrence Crawford right now. Virgil Ortiz is ready for Errol Spence Jr. right now. Ryan Garcia is ready for Devin Haney and Regis Prograis right now. That's how we should be speaking as boxing fans. If these guys want to go for greatness, why are we stopping them? What? How is that in our best interest to stop a fighter from being great and then speak up for the fighters not trying to be great? So I don't know, man. It just set me off this morning when I saw a couple of content creators say stuff like Devin Haney needs to be more like Ryan Garcia and Tank Davis. It just sets me off because it's why we get what we get.
Yeah. Look, there's a book. If you took literature in high school, you should know about it, but the Iliad. Okay. Mm-hmm. The gods envy us. They envy us because we're mortal, because any moment may be our last. Everything is more beautiful because we're doomed. You will never be lovelier than you are now. You will never be here again. These fighters have one life, one career. I don't think people realize how anything could happen to a fighter. They could blow out a disc, their shoulder, like anything could happen. While they're young and hungry, is a time to go for that. Go for it. And if they're not ready, guess what? Bruno Mancini, early in his career, lost to Arguello. Guess what? He still had a great career. You know what he did? There's this old thing called, for some reason, people put like a negative connotation on he got schooled, right? Which we know what that means. It means they give you a boxing lesson, right? But there's this old thing called learning from your loss. Like they do it in every other sport, Calix. In every other sport, they learn from their losses. They come back, they get better, they make adjustments, right? But in boxing, like you lose, it's over. It's like the weirdest thing. And look, I've been watching boxing long enough to know that this is a new thing. This started after the Mayweather era. It just did, right? Nobody said, oh, Rocky Marciano's the greatest heavyweight of all time because he never lost. There's no blueprint to beat him. Ain't nobody say that. If anything, people questioned Rocky Marciano and his level of opposition because he was undefeated. Okay? If anything. And if you look at his era, it wasn't the strongest era. Shout out to him. He's one of my favorite fighters ever, but still, you know what I mean? But I don't know. And then look at Canelo. He lost to Floyd. Yeah, he got taken to school. Guess what? He got better. He improved. Like hearing like a lot of Canelo detractors till this day, like, but he lost to Floyd. Okay, like 10 years ago. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and he got better. No, he didn't. He didn't improve at all. Only in boxing can guys not improve, Galax. Only in boxing. And so people are worried, like, what's going to happen if Ortiz loses to Crawford? What's going to happen? Okay, he goes back to the drawing board, right? And he gets better or not. If he can't improve after a loss, then guess what? He's not made to be a fighter.
Canelo just lost to Bivol. Canelo's going to be fine. He's going to be fine. Yeah. His fans are going to be forgiving because of his track record. And we need to learn from UFC fans, as hard as that is to say.
I mean, how many times too much, but I hear you.
How many times do we talk about a UFC fan getting excited about a fighter with 9 losses and 2 draws? And they speak about the fighter as if they're the greatest thing, but at least they still ride with those fighters. I live in UFC country. Like South Louisiana used to be boxing. New Orleans used to be boxing, heavy boxing historically. You go back a century, late 1800s, early 1900s, through the 20th century. Now it's not.
Didn't
now
Durant and Leonard fight there? No.
What's that?
Durant and Leonard fought there, didn't they?
Yes. Yeah. Many big fights in the Superdome. And even back further before the Superdome was built.
Or Silverdome, if you ask Hulk Hogan.
Right. But if you drive through New Orleans now, it's UFC gym almost every block. But being surrounded by it, I go to these UFC fights and they roll with their fighters. And they don't care if the fighter loses. Guess what? Poirier loses, they're going to be rocking with Poirier the very next fight. We need to adopt that.
Their current lightweight champion had like 4 or 5 cracks and kept losing, and he kept getting shot. He would climb back up, and guess what? Finally he won. It happens. If anything, and I don't want to go MMA here, but I'm seeing all this like because I'm like a casual MMA fan. So when I heard that Khabib's going to make the Hall of Fame, like a lot of UFC fans are actually critical of it. They're like, this guy he only won like 2-3 big fights. That's it. Yeah. Like, and Stephen A. Smith and guys like that, but he was undefeated though. Like, you could see how that boxing thing kind of crossed over a little bit,
Yeah, but we got to get back to it. Any entrepreneur will tell you have to fail before you succeed. You have to be able to lose, take risks, at least risk losing in order to go on with your career and get your trajectory up this way. But when I see the risk being taken out, it doesn't resemble a sport at that point. When you fully take the risk away from fighters, it doesn't resemble a sport at that point. It's what makes sports great. You have to go through the fire in order to get to the other side, to get to greatness. And we're trying to remove that. And it's frustrating. Absolutely. I understand why promoters do it.
That's why, like, I tell, like, look, how long have I been saying that if Tank Davis loses, as long as he's fighting the best, he doesn't lose any stock.
Right.
Because Tank Davis is just one of the most exciting fighters to watch. People will, like they'll know, even though he lost some fight, you'll always know he could beat anybody because of his power. Like you know that. Like it wouldn't matter. But you know, it is what it is. Everyone make sure Tuesdays, Wednesdays, we don't have a set time yet, but me and Calix will be live at some point. Check out, keep an eye out, for boxing lines. We'll cover strictly the gambling part and the odds portion of the boxing world. So make sure you keep an eye out for that on Calix's channel. No set time, like we said, but that's why you want to subscribe to Calix Boxing. Hit that bell button, hit the all, so you're notified when we go live. Just know it's going to be on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, so you have an idea. But Calix, any final words?
That's it, man. That's it. Demand the best fights and let the chips fall where they may. You lose, you lose. All right, but boxing fans, we need to go look out for our own self-interest. We need to win.
Look, I agree 100%. Everybody, I want to thank everybody that, even the ones that just came in, always go back, listen to the rest of the show. If you haven't already, hit that like button. It helps support the content. Give me the 50 likes. I got one more like to go. That's it. We'll get a 50. You know what I mean? But I want to thank everybody. And Nando says pro wrestling was big in Louisiana. You know what I mean? Holy shit. Probably was, you know. With that said, this is D-Style Boxing. Keep it boxing. We're out. Peace.